Good morning. Not December, October 27th, 2022, 9:01 a.m. Checking on audio here. A.m. Checking on audio here. Got it. M. Checking on audio here. Got it. Whoops. Mute that. There we go. What was I going to say next? I guess Thursday. It's a Thursday. And this is an episode of Windows Daily. This is Windows Daily number 84, How to Report Cybercrime. Doug, what do you mean by that? Where is this coming from? Well, I was watching and participating in an internationally known talk show last night called Ken Stout Live. Internationally known? Really, Doug? You're going with, well, yeah, there's people from different countries that know about it. So it's an internationally known talk show. And Gary Weisenberger gave a link that I've been wanting to go find, and I just haven't spent the time to go find it. And I poked around looking at that a little bit. I said, oh, this is good. This is good. I want to show this. Oh, and Gary is watching now. Very good. Ken Stout had me there for a second. Yeah. Internationally known talk show. That's right. That's valid. Correct. Let's come over here to this link that Gary gave us last night to complaint ic3.gov default. Get you straight into this complaint form. I'm going to back out the word default off of this URL and get to the main portion of the website. Oh, why is that not working now? Oh, because it's complaint. I gotta get rid of the word complaint there to get to the home page of this website, because that's what I want to go explore around. So I'm going to put this into chat. So I clicked in the address field, press Control-C for copy, and then come back to chat. I think it's on this tab. Yeah. So I'll put that into chat if anyone wants to bring that up on their screen and follow this, or maybe you ought to keep, I think anybody that's involved with computers ought to keep that address accessible to them, so that if the day comes that you have been a party to or aware of cybercrime, that you can report it. And perhaps even get the ball rolling with the authorities. So let's look through this. Right here on the home page, it's got this filing a complaint with the IC3. IC3 accepts online internet crime complaints from either the actual victim or from a third party to the complaint. So you could be a third party to the complaint and report it. Now, I'm not quite sure how they define third party. Maybe that should be looked into, because there are penalties against falsely reporting something. So if you've heard of somebody encountering crime, that's not close enough. You're going to have to be able to provide some details, which could help somebody else. And I'd be willing to help somebody with filing a complaint. Let's get a high-level awareness of what's available on this website. More here has this menu of items to select through. Man, I'd like to just zap and give me that instant knowledge of all of that. I'm going to poke around through some of this, but this is the menu off of the left-hand column. Then up here we have File a Complaint. And that takes us to choosing one of these three. You can be filing to IC3, FBI, or NCMEC, National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. And IC3, I guess I can't recite yet what that stands for or where that comes from. Internet Crime Complaint Center. So is it I for Internet and then three words that begin with the letter C? Is that where they come up with the number 3? It might be IC3. IC3, IC4, IC5. IC is just cold, to put it bluntly. Oh, that didn't go well. That was file a complaint and then consumer alerts. When you click on here, you find public service announcements. Look at these dates, October 25th, 18th, 16th, 4th. So there's several here just from October alone. Any of these could make interesting reading. Here, this one, criminal actors leverage rideshare vehicles to abduct minors. It's a little bit outside of the realm of what you might have thought for internet crime. Well, this isn't internet crime. This is consumer alerts. Then let's go on to industry alerts. Ransomware, cyber group, CVEs exploited by People's Republic of China, Iranian state actors. You can really get the authoritative level of documentation here of what's going on, rather than just listening to some YouTuber report about internet crime, such as, I don't know, LiveWindowsTraining-DougBetts. He's not an authority. These are authoritative sources. That's industry alerts. And then BEC, what is that? That is business email compromise. I've had a few of those. It's a sophisticated scam targeting both businesses and individuals. So don't let BEC, business email compromise, off-put you. This is individuals too. Both businesses and individuals performing a transfer of funds. The scam is frequently carried out when a subject compromises legitimate business email accounts through social engineering or computer intrusion techniques, resulting in an unauthorized transfer of funds. That kind of threw me a little bit. The subject I was thinking would be the victim, but this sounds like the criminal. The scam is frequently carried out when a criminal compromises legitimate business email accounts. So this is specifically regarding resulting in a transfer of funds. So just having your email hacked, that's not enough for this report. They're giving some instructions, advice on what to do to go ahead and pursue trying to get your money back. I want to point out filing a BEC complaint gets into this area here. Are you reporting on behalf of a business? And if not, then you leave the business section blank, because you could be reporting on behalf of an individual or yourself. And if you are reporting on behalf of someone else, see if I get to the right place here. Other information. Who filed the complaint? Were you the victim in the incident described above? So you can be reporting on behalf of someone else or assisting somebody else for this type of a crime. Now, notice the header up here doesn't say anything about business email compromise. Some of these filings come to this same form. It's a little more generic. I think this form is used for things other than an actual financial transfer. Let's see. If there are no financial details, please proceed to the next section. You might be using this form to report a BEC or something else. So that's BEC. Then let's go on to ransomware. Ransomware is a form of malware targeting both human and technical weaknesses in an effort to make critical data and/or systems inaccessible. Ransomware is delivered through various vectors, including remote desktop protocol, which allows computers to connect to each other across a network, and phishing. So there's phishing included in this, but that's just saying how the ransomware was delivered. This isn't saying report phishing here. There's file a complaint, and then guidance here, and guidance for MSPs. I would look into that for myself. Now, I don't typically call myself an MSP. I don't do contracts with my clients where they pay me a regular amount every month for each of the computers that they have to provide whatever support that they need. That's not my business model. But still, the guidance for me as a computer consultant should be included in that. Oh, this is FEI for MSPs and their customers affected by Kaseya, supply chain ransomware. That one was specifically related to MSPs, so maybe that one's not me to read. High impact ransomware attacks threaten U.S. businesses and organizations. This looks like just various documents to read up on. But take a look at the ransomware complaint. It takes us to this same looking form, but it does have up here in this paragraph, this form is for the reporting of ransomware related incidents only. So even though that's not in this title, it is here in this subtitle. That's lemon ginger tea I'm drinking. Not out of the Homies Cup, because the Zoom Homies Cup from that internationally known talk show, Ken Stout Live, is reserved for water. So that's ransomware. Then let's go to elder fraud. Oh, that switched. That was such a... I don't think I was already on there. No, I wasn't. All right. The mission of the FBI, so this is going to involve FBI, is to protect American people and uphold the Constitution, includes efforts to combat financial crimes targeting seniors. The FBI, in alignment with the Department of Justice Elder Fraud Initiative and efforts of our internal and external partners, committed to this mission. Go take a look at that form. Very similar looking form, same title up here, but in the paragraph, this form is for the reporting of elder fraud related incidents. There's financial section, there's a description of the incident, information about the subject, and down here, who filed the complaint. I haven't looked in great detail for these different forms, but they look to me like the same form, but by submitting it through this link, you're getting it goes to a different place. This here is elder fraud, and notice up here in the URL, it's EF for elderfraud.ic3.gov. So it sends your report to a different group of people. And then scams. What do we get to do with scams? You are now leaving ic3.gov to visit, and that goes to fbi.gov, scams and safety. It went there without me clicking. That screen that I was just reading from was just it was a time delay. So you got to be quick about reading it if you want to. It takes us to some guidance about being crime smart here, how to report crime and fraud, other government resources. Now, this, let's see, am I going to, computer safety, report cyber scams and incidents. So when you click on this, what does that take you to? And that takes you back to IC3. That's where we filed the complaint. So it took us over to the FBI just to see information about that. Now, hands off the computer. It should go on to the FBI site momentarily. There it goes. So it wants to give you some education here about these crimes. But if you actually want to file the report, it's going to take you right back in here to IC3. I'm going to take a look at what's going on in chat, see if there's anything you're trying to bring my attention to as far as when the chat is working and people visiting back and forth. I will go back later and read through that, although there's not as much going on today. Now, let's go take a look down this list. File a complaint, we've seen that. BEC, that's the business email compromise. We've seen that. Ransomware, elder fraud, we've seen that. Public service announcements. What do we got here? We've got more reports. Let's see, these are different reports, I believe, than what, well, no, leverage, rideshare. So we did see this page. Let's go back here. That's public service announcements. Annual reports, not annual financial profit reports. IC3 annual report, and then state reports. So take a quick look at the IC3 annual report, Internet Crime for 2021, with a table of contents that might be able to get you more directly to something you're looking for. Are these clickable? Page numbers, last 5 years, 7. Does that take me to page 7? Yes, it does. Usually a PDF will do that from the table of contents. So that's what that report looks like. How many pages? We've got 33 pages in that. Let's go back, use the back arrow, and look at state reports. Does this give us a breakdown by state? So here's Alabama, things going on in Alabama. Yeah, the black border there is Alabama. Scrolling down, see how we get to the next state. Okay, we don't scroll to the next state. Is it click up here? Yep. So here's where I'll click to get to California IA. In these section headings, claim type by victim count, claim type by victim loss, claim type by subject count, claim type by subject loss. So here we see some actual dollar numbers put to those losses. So you hear something on the news about X number of dollars for particular crime, cybercrime category. I don't trust the news outlets, not the small YouTube channels, not the big YouTube channels, not the network media, not the local news. I'm always wanting to go find the original source. Where does that originally come from? I find a lot of times, especially if the title of the report is kind of sensational, yeah, I find that, yeah, but you're not telling me the whole story there. There's some caveats to it that make it not quite as sensational. All the news media, all the YouTube channels, all the podcasts, they want to give sensational sounding titles so people will click and spend time on their content. Subject count. What are they calling us for subject? There's the BEC, business email compromise, and EAC, I don't know offhand. Maybe we already talked about it today. Civil matter, computer intrusion, confidence fraud, romance, corporate data breach, credit card fraud, crimes against children, and then denial of service, and it goes on and on and on. Extortion. So you can go find your own states, see what's going on. Let's go back and continue down that left-hand column. Yep, I got to go to this page. And back. There we were on annual reports, linking resources. How it can help you. This looks familiar. I think we saw exactly the same thing. Is this the FBI? Yeah, there's FBI up there in the address bar. So go back. Just pointing out there, I guess that they are linking to FBI, maybe others. Oops, it's moved on to the FBI site again. Get me back here. Okay, and then scams. What do we have to tell us about that? You're now leaving. So this is going to take us back to FBI again. Does it take us to a different page or that same? This is that same landing page. Okay, that was scams. Industry alerts. I think we saw that. Ransomware, Daxian, Iranian cyber group, CVEs exploited by People's Republic of China. Yes, we saw that. In part, for those of you who don't realize it, part of what we're doing here is I'm getting myself familiar with this because I haven't gone through it to this level. That was industry alerts. Press kit. Press kit. For example, if, I don't know, Ken Stout Live Show or Live Windows Training DougBetts want to do something. Is this something we can use? Access denied, ransomware. So I'm wondering if this is content that a YouTuber could make more use of. I'm already making use of the website, right? That's FBI. Get back to the right place here. I'm on IC3. Press kit. Then facts, frequently asked questions. Prior to filing a complaint, after a complaint is filed, related evidence, urgent complaints. All of these are probably links to the stuff that's down below. So this after a complaint is filed would be a short distance down here. What happens after I file a complaint? Trained analyst at the IC3, review and research complaints, disseminating information to federal, state, local, international law enforcement or regulatory agencies for several criminal, civil, or administrative action is perfect. So I have heard people say when you encounter some kind of a computer compromise, if I encounter that at a client's office, I'm supposed to call the FBI. Really? Can I really call the FBI? I have tried calling the FBI before, not for cybercrime, but for something else. Didn't find it to be a really friendly experience. My impression is that filing a form here is going to get you connected to whatever is the appropriate agency in a more efficient, less frustrating manner. Yeah, I don't know that for sure, but that's my suspicion. When will I be updated on the status? Will I be informed that my complaint was received successfully? How do I cancel the complaint that I filed? Related evidence. Should I retain evidence? So one of the things that I'm concerned about is if I come across a client of mine who their email account is compromised, or we believe that maybe there's even been a data breach. What is it my responsibility to do, and how do I go about doing that? I have heard that there's a time clock that starts running once you become aware of a data breach, that there's a limited amount of time that you have to report that to the authorities. I deal with some offices that fall under HIPAA regulations, so I need to know this stuff better. I'm just a small computer consultant. I don't have all of the knowledge and training that a large shop would have. I need to take the responsibility to learn this better. And any comments that you folks are sending my way, I will pay attention to that. I see some more text in here in the chat room. I will be going back to read over that later and see what you're saying. Now let's go back to this more list. That was facts we were on. Disclaimer. What do we got here? All right. The Federal Bureau of Investigation is not responsible for the content of any non-FBI web pages, which are referenced by or reference the Internet Crime Complaint Center IC3 website. So is IC3 actually run by IC3? Because they're kind of sounding like here that they are including IC3 as FBI. FBI is not responsible for yada, yada, yada. Links from IC3 website to non-FBI sites or from other sites to the IC3 homepage do not condone endorsement by FBI. All right, enough on that. Privacy notice. Yeah, you're going to sell my information to advertisers, I know. I don't think it really says that from them. And then about IC3. Mission statement. The mission of the Internet Crime Complaint Center is to provide the public with a reliable and convenient reporting mechanism to submit information to the Federal Bureau of Investigation concerning suspected Internet-facilitated criminal activity and to develop effective alliances with law enforcement and industry partners. Information is analyzed and disseminated for investigative and intelligent purposes to law enforcement and for public awareness. About us. Since 2000, IC3 has received complaints crossing the spectrum of cybercrime matters to include online fraud in its many forms, including intellectual property rights matters, computer intrusions, hacking, economic espionage, theft of trade secrets, online extortion, international money laundering, identity theft, growing list of internet-facilitated crimes. That covers that well enough. Internet Fraud Complaint Center was renamed October 2003 to better reflect the broad character of such matters having an internet or cyber nexus referred to the IC3, and to minimize the need for one to distinguish internet fraud from other potentially overlapping cybercrimes. So that's Internet Fraud Complaint Center, IFCC. So that's, if I'm understanding that right, yeah, the IC3, formerly known as IFCC, was renamed. Okay. So that's where it came from. Interesting that it's this long before I really locked in an awareness of this. And I just attribute that to I'm a small-time computer consultant. I'm confused and don't know what I'm doing. Some of you are already thinking that phrase before I said it. IC3 is the FBI, yes. That translates into we take the report, correlate all the data, then give it to the FBI as a service we provide under their, of course, supervision and guidance. Yeah, I think more along the lines of Gary's saying that IC3 is FBI. That's my understanding of it. It's Federal Bureau of Investigation. That's FBI right there. Internet Crime Compliance Center, IC3. This is a division or a section within FBI. That's very clear to me. It would have been more clear if it was ic3.fbi.gov, but this is fine. This is totally appropriate. And probably also, since it's a separate domain from the FBI, it could never become a vulnerability vector to the FBI if they're not opening their domain to the public this way. This is a very public, open process that has forms that you can submit. Very well might use SQL forms. And SQL forms have that code injection vulnerability. So they'd have to be sure that they're monitoring that. I'm sure they're still monitoring that, but being on a separate domain name, I think makes a lot of sense for them. So Ken Stout, we're getting close to a half hour here, and it looks like I've kind of completed my whole high-level exploration of this website. So I'm going to go ahead and wind it down here. Might even be ending a couple minutes early. Hint, hint. I do have the redirect set for Ken's show. So if you have never seen, if you have never watched that internationally known live talk show known as Ken Stout Live, you're about to get a redirect to there, and you can go watch it and see what you think. Now, actually, that's not the live show. The live show, it is live usually, but the nightly show. This is the Daily Da Vinci show that I'm forwarding you to. So it's showing Ken Stout as a amateur, off the street, normal person with no particular computer background or skills, learning a program that is well above his expectation of being able to be competent with quickly. You're witnessing his experiences at learning this program and experimenting with it. And it's an interesting, entertaining show. I hope you'll check it out. Here we go. I hope that was useful today. Have a great day, and I'll catch you later. Goodbye.